What's going on, guys? It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with breaking news hot off the press. So it looked like the WNBA players and owners has come up with a new agreement. Now, I'm not here to say that we still going to have a 2026 season, but they have come up with some type of agreement. I'm still trying to dissect everything, man. We're going to start this video off a little different. So we're going to jump right into this story. So Ramona Shelburne, I believe she is a reporter for ESPN, senior writer for ESPN. She released a tweet about 37 minutes ago. It stated the WNBA and WBPA have reached an agreement on.
The WNBA has just revealed a historic arrangement between players and ownership that has sent shockwaves throughout the league. What appeared to be a major leap forward for a sport entering a critical growth phase is instead a harsh reality, a last resort, hiding a much deeper problem. This is not the transformative deal fans were expecting. It is a short-term fix covering a serious fracture. At the most pivotal moment, the silence from influential voices is impossible to ignore. As the truth behind this so-called agreement becomes clear, this choice will shape the future, but not in the way anyone imagined. The vision of a new era now hangs by a fragile thread.
Capital fishing suspension offering temporary relief, but potentially increasing debt as interest. So from my understanding, based off this little Motrum thing, hopefully I'm saying that right, they have decided to do, this is not giving us a 2026 season. I do want to be clear there. I believe they reached an agreement to base this, just a proper word, to continue negotiations, if I'm reading this correctly. So as of right now, it's still basically they still don't have a WNBA CBA agreement.
Ramona Shelburne, ESPN senior writer, was the first to report that a moratorium on league business had been reached. For many, the term carried little meaning, but its definition paints a disturbing picture, a temporary authorized halt of activity or obligation. This is not a new collective bargaining agreement or CBA. It does not secure a 2026 season. It is merely a pause, a plea for extra time to review, rebuild, or confront a pressing unresolved issue. This is not advancement. It is an admission that the league is still unable to move ahead
until there was a new CBA agreement. So I'm wondering if the players is doing this to stop free agency. That's what this tweet is saying. You know, somebody else said this is actually bad news for fans and coaches. Coaches will have to implement complex systems in a condensed offseason with very little time for players' development and chemistry building, which will hurt the product on the court. Now, sign replacement players. So that's what it's starting to look like, man. Maybe we could be getting a replacement situation similar to the 90 movie.
The reason behind this extreme, temporary step exposes the core of the league instability. Players and owners failed to finalize a new CBA by the crucial January 9th deadline. This was more than a missed date. It was a collapse in talks that forced everything to stop. Without a new CBA, the league could not continue basic operations, placing the entire system in limbo. This was not a mutually beneficial move. It was the result of failing to reach agreement, leaving the WNBA in a dangerous state of uncertainty
and chemistry building, which will hurt the product on the court. Now, sign replacement players. So that's what it's starting to look like, man. Maybe we could be getting a replacement situation similar to the 90 movie that we seen with Keanu Reeves, The Replacements, because that's exactly what it's finna look like, man. And somebody said the first 8 words of this tweet had me thinking we were going somewhere else. Right, man. Like, it had got so bad, I straight had to Google what the word meant, because I ain't gonna lie to you, I didn't even know what the damn word meant. Now, this is not a good look for the W.
The immediate consequences are impossible to ignore. Free agency is completely frozen. Teams cannot issue qualifying offers, core designations, a vital method to retain star players. are unavailable. All signings are stopped. There is no player movement, no roster building, no long-term planning. After a season marked by record-breaking viewership, the competitive structure is now locked in place, preventing teams from making decisions that shape championships. The player market has effectively ceased to exist.
To Google what the word meant, because I ain't gonna lie to you, I didn't even know what the damn word meant. Now, this is not a good look for the WNBA players or owners, man. Y'all still can't come up with an agreement. Y'all still can't come up with a system in place to get us a 2026 season. Because basically what y'all saying is that we still at the negotiation table. We still haven't made any progress in the current state of the whole negotiation situation. This is ugly. This is not a good look for the WNBA players. This is not a good look for the owners. And guess who suffered? The fans.
Speculation erupted instantly around the intentions of the players. Some analysts, including voices reacting to Alexa Filippo retweet, questioned whether this was a calculated move to shut down free agency entirely. Why would players agree to a pause that limits their own opportunities? Is this a negotiation tactic? A pressure play against ownership to force a more favorable CBA? The stakes are enormous, pointing to deep mistrust and a risky strategy where both sides trade stability for potential long-term leverage. This is not simply a delay. It may be a strategic confrontation.
Situation. This is ugly. This is not a good look for the WNBA players. This is not a good look for the owners. And guess who suffered? The fans is suffering because we still don't know definitively if we even gonna have a 2026 season. Now y'all trying to use big words to try to say that, you know, maybe we is gonna have a 2026 season. We just gotta wait and see. And me personally, not a good look, man, because at the end of the day, fans and players need clarity. And it seemed like none of y'all know what the hell y'all doing, and we just sitting here.
For coaches and fans, this moratorium is catastrophic. Coaches are left trying to install complex systems within a compressed off-season, with almost no time for development or chemistry. How do you prepare a competitive roster when construction is paused? Without an end date, the on-court product will suffer, resulting in disjointed play and a weaker fan experience. This directly damages the quality of the game, affecting everything from player growth to team unity. Momentum around the league is now overshadowed by overwhelming uncertainty.
Man, because at the end of the day, fans and players need clarity. And it seemed like none of y'all know what the hell y'all doing, and we just sitting here now. Now we're just sitting here day in and day out. Y'all keep, once again, donkey in a carrot, bruh. This looking very donkey in a carrot-ish. I just got to be honest here with you guys. Let me see what Annie Constable said. Maybe Annie Constable might give us some more clarity on this. She stated the WNBA and WPA have agreed to a moratorium for league business specific for free agency. Put simply, qualifying offers or core destinations and signings will be paused for. So
the most disturbing rumors paint a scenario that feels unreal. The idea of replacement players. If talks continue to stall, could the league be forced to use temporary non-union talent? It sounds like a movie plot, yet the implications are terrifying. For competitive balance and league credibility, such a step would reshape the identity of the WNBA, alienate fans, and devastate player morale. Even considering it shows how severe the situation has become. It hints at a bleak future if a full agreement is not reached.
Because we're not we already I don't know what the hell they doing, man, but this is ugly because we constantly hearing about the status quo thing. We already talked about the status quo time after time again for the last 3 damn days. I don't want to hear about the status quo no more. I want to hear about a deal getting done. And as of right now, a deal is not getting done. This is a very, very ugly situation, and it don't look like it's going to get better any anytime soon. I want to know what y'all thoughts is down in the comment section right now. Keep them bills on. I will be back with more content. And until next time, man, shake the haters off. I'm out of here, bro. This WNBA stuff is getting ridiculous.
Across the board, the reaction is the same. This looks bad. It reflects poorly on both players and owners, revealing an inability to finalize a critical agreement. At a defining moment for the league, this deadlock damages confidence. Inside and outside the WNBA, frustration is growing as momentum risks being wasted due to internal conflict. This is not just a contract issue. It is a public relations disaster, hurting a league seeking mainstream legitimacy. At its core, both sides remain in talks, without meaningful progress. This moratorium is a timeout, not a breakthrough. It confirms that months of negotiation have not brought resolution. The situation is stagnant, with no real advancement. Fans suffer the most, left without clarity, and unsure if a 2026 season will even happen. Excitement driven by new stars and rising popularity is now muted by uncertainty. Supporters invest emotion, time and money, only to receive vague statements and temporary fixes. This lack of transparency creates frustration and distrust, pushing away the very people who fuel the league growth. The emotional cost to loyal fans is massive and unnecessary. Complex language like moratorium feels designed to mask reality rather than address it. Instead of clear answers, fans are given legal jargon that offers no reassurance. This choice of wording deepens confusion and anger and reinforces a sense of avoidance. Reports from Annie Costabile confirmed the pause applies to free agency, including qualifying offers, core designations, and signings. This confirms a complete shutdown of the off-season market. It is not a small adjustment. It is a full stop. Additional reports revealed the Players Association initially objected to extra language in the proposal, showing deep mistrust. Even within a temporary pause, the moratorium will only end once a new CBA is ratified. With no timeline in sight, everything traces back to the missed January 9th deadline, the moment that triggered this entire collapse. Free agency normally begins around January 11th, but that structure is now gone. Nearly every player is affected, with only Lexi Brown and Kalia Copper outside the immediate impact. Careers are stalled, movement is blocked, and development is delayed. The repeated message of status quo has become unbearable, a symbol of stagnation and failed leadership. This is an ugly situation, with no sign of improvement. No deal is coming soon. The temporary pause only highlights how severe the conflict truly is. A league ready for explosive growth is instead trapped in turmoil, risking its future at the worst possible time. The promise of a defining agreement remains unfulfilled. What exists now is only a pause, a weak solution that exposes deep division. Fans and players deserve clarity and real leadership, not endless uncertainty.